Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan here from Fishing for Fun. I'm just going to go through my anchor setup. This is my anchor setup for out in the ocean when I'm fishing in the swell with a lot of current, and I can easily clip this in and out and work it for rivers, estuaries, whatever I like, out in the bay, in Port Phillip Bay where there's not a lot of current. So when you're out in the ocean, you need something pretty reliable, something that you can get in and out fast, and something that's going to be safe. I don't want to be sitting out in the kayak with a rope and an anchor attached to it and having to pull 20 meters of line in because I'm sitting in 15 meters of water on a kayak and having all that line all over me and trying to, it's a mess. So this is the best way that I've seen. I saw this on a video on YouTube and I've done it myself. I've been using it now for about 2 years and it's the most effective way that I've seen. So first of all, we have a stainless steel clip and just tie it off there. We have a short amount of line. This part here will connect to your anchor trolley, so you can send it to the front of your kayak or to the back of it, or in the middle if that's what need be, but generally front and back. Tide and wind sort of determining where you need to go. Down to the ball float. So basically here, one thing I did have, it's come off here, is I have my name and my phone number around here. I have to re-put it back on. The reason this is on there is pretty simple. When you're out in the ocean, or anywhere really, if you get in any trouble with your anchor, let's say a big boat comes past and it's like chopping you up and you just don't feel safe with your anchor in, you can unclip this, throw it off the side, so that comes off your anchor trolley. You just throw it off the side, the float will keep the anchor floating, you'll know where it is, so you'll be able to just paddle back around and pick up your anchor. You won't lose your anchor. That's clipped off to this dive reel. Now you can pick these up on Amazon very, very cheap. I think they're around 30 bucks. I would go one just a little bit, go around the $30 range. You don't want to get something too cheap. As you can see, it's got a ton of line on there. There's 150 yards of line on there. It has 3 different settings. You have stop, you have free spool, and you have skip. I generally use stop and skip just because you tend to get you can get some tangles in the line if you just let the line free spool really fast all the way out. It'll kind of puff out of this little sort of section here, and it can be a bit of a nightmare. So to keep it all tight, just use skip. It'll bump as it goes down, and it just controls the descent a little bit better. Just one thing, you will with this sort of size anchor, you will not be able to pull it up by the rolling mechanism or the retrieval mechanism of this. You'll have to pull the line from one side of the yak and throw it over to the other side of the yak. It's really important that you pull the line and you throw it to the other side of the yak and not inside your kayak. Any line that you put inside your kayak is going to get tangled up and be a mess and very dangerous, so don't do that. So pull the line all the way, throw it back in the water. That'll stop it. The water will stop it from getting tangled, and then you can simply just wind it up. That has another clip on it which goes down to our chain. The chain obviously goes around. Now, just a little hack with the anchor. You'll notice that with the anchor, I have it attached at the top. Chain comes all the way down, attaches at the bottom. The reason for this is when you're out in the ocean, you are trying to be as safe as possible. If you let your anchor open, let's say we drop our anchor, boom, it hits the bottom, it opens up. It gets stuck under a rock, right? We're trying to pull the anchor, we're trying to pull it up. We can't pull it up because it's stuck on a rock because we've attached the anchor at the top. So every time we pull, the anchor is going to be pulling and opening up the actual anchor mechanism. If we attach the anchor at the bottom and we have some zip ties at the top, we can pull hard, break those zip ties, all right? And then we're now pulling from the bottom and pulling the actual anchor out from the bottom. That's going to be much safer. It closes the anchor up instead of keeping the anchor open. We're stuck, boom, 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 we can't pull. We come over the top. We come over the top of the anchor, so we just paddle over the top of the anchor. We give it an almighty pull. It's going to snap that zip tie, and now we're attached from the bottom. When we pull it up, it's going to pull the anchor up this way, not this way. So that is my anchor setup. Now you'll notice it's a heavy anchor. Again, this is for going out in the ocean. If I'm going out of Port Phillip Bay, drop the anchor size. You might not even need to use a chain. I mean, I always use a little bit of chain. Just helps to set the anchor in place a little bit better. You can fully just clip this clip, just take it off, put whatever one you want on, whatever size you want on, whatever you want on. I also use this same system set up for a burley bucket. I have exactly the same system. I just clip it on, put a burley bucket on, I drop my burley bucket one side, I drop my anchor the other side. So very, very easy, stores away nice and small. You don't have all this stuff everywhere, or sometimes guys use the electrical wire storage systems, and they're big and bulky. You have those things. This thing just sits right behind my seat. Super simple. I can pull it out whenever I want. I can keep this connected to the anchor trolley the whole time, so I'm not clipping on, taking off, clipping on. I just clip it on, away I go. Really, really easy. Really, really good little mod, and it doesn't cost much, and it's very safe. So I advise everybody with a kayak who does a little bit of offshore fishing, or even just wants to, anchor up, whiting, that sort of fishing, jump on it. Very good, very effective.